Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo, and this is another week in review. It's been a jam-packed week for me, absolutely jam-packed, trying to deal with the holidays. Pesach, Passover, is basically, to give context here, so Passover is an 8-day-long holiday with a kind of break in the middle. It's classified as like a semi-holiday. We can do all the phones and electronics and stuff in the middle. But so this year it worked out to be, we had regular Saturday, where I'm offline. Then we had Sunday and Monday, which are Passover. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are the break, so to speak. And then we're back to Saturday and Sunday being Passover again, crossing over with Saturday, so with Shabbos. So effectively, I'm offline today and tomorrow again, and then I'm back to my usual schedule where I'm just offline Saturday and no other days. Now, I got a chunk of comment responding done, still way behind, but it's just in a packed week. I'm trying to cram all the work I usually get done on Sundays. I'm trying to catch up on Sunday, catch up on Monday. I'll be doing the same thing next week, so hopefully in another week or so I'll be back to regular breathing room. But this is going to be the news and week in review. Jumping into all these stuff, we'll start off with the news and things. So first of all, I'll throw a link down below. There's some sort of bizarre Monopoly voting situation currently going on, where you can vote on the new cards that would go into a new version of Monopoly. I'm not clear if this is the standardized version of Monopoly that will be published going forward, but the way the whole announcement is kind of structured, it sounds like they're like, oh, Monopoly's been around for so long and it's outdated, and here are the new cards. And I gotta say, the new cards, not that I was playing Monopoly, not the target audience, but the new cards seem kind of bizarre, to be honest. They don't really, they're just like, they're like hosting block parties. I guess host a block party, collect $50, but my bigger problem, and I know it's weird that I'm spending this much time on Monopoly, but bear with me. My biggest problem is the cards and the costs and the theme make no sense. The reasons, like, for instance, regular Monopoly, it's like pay taxes, lose money, income tax refund, get money. I don't even know if that's a thing. All the events sort of make sense. But in these new cards, the times you get versus lose money seem to have no correlation to each other whatsoever. They're just like random event that sounds more modern, random amount of money that is deducted or added. Pet peeve. This doesn't matter at all. Past that, on something else. Neomorphosis. If you are familiar, not Neomorphosis, sorry. Dark Rituals. If you are familiar with Dark Gate Entertainment, I think that's the name, I could be messing this up, but Dark Gate Entertainment, who have recently had a Kickstarter for a game called Neomorphosis that was on Kickstarter. They also had a Kickstarter for a game called Dark Rituals that has some of the most beautiful miniatures I have ever seen. They are coming back to Kickstarter with a soundtrack. If you don't know what that means, let's cover that now. A soundtrack on Kickstarter for board games means Kickstarter has a rule: you cannot sell something that has already been created. You have to sell something new, and then once you're doing that, you can throw in other stuff as well. So, when a game wants to release new content for a game, when a game wants to resell the same content, but not creating an expansion, they typically sell a soundtrack. That's the new thing that you are kickstarting, and by the way, here's the game and whatnot. Arbitrary rules, arbitrary roundabout exceptions, whole thing's bizarre and just wastes a lot of time, but hey, whatever. So they are releasing a soundtrack, I believe it's scheduled for May 4th, where you can buy more Dark Rituals stuff, including Kickstarter content or whatnot. So if you've been eyeing that $500 copy on Kickstarter because the miniatures look amazing, and the reviews are mixed, but there's a lot of good reviews in that mix or whatnot, and so if you've been eyeing that, I recommend holding off to May 4th. It'll be coming to Kickstarter, well, then. Past that, we have Canvas. Canvas has an expansion coming to Kickstarter. I forgot to write down the date for this one. I think it's April 14th, I want to say. I could be mistaken, but I think it's April 14th. The Canvas has an expansion coming to Kickstarter. I recently did we'll cover this in the videos from last week, but I recently did my upcoming Kickstarters video last Sunday, and I missed some, which is good. One of the reasons I like this video is it helps me catch the things I miss before it's actually time to cover the Kickstarter. So I might miss it in the upcoming Kickstarter, but then someone will be like, hey, you missed game X, Y, and Z, and then I'll have it on my list. In Canvas's case, I think they made the announcement after I filmed that video. So I didn't miss it, so to speak, but it's not on the list. This is why, by the way, you should subscribe to Shelf Clutter, who has weekly coverage, and his coverage is much more, he misses, well, everyone misses everything, but everyone misses something. But he misses fewer things than I do, so his coverage will be more accurate, more on time, all of that. So subscribe to Shelf Clutter, I'll throw a link down below. But effectively, Canvas is coming with an expansion, so of those like 5,000 people who backed it last time, something like that, an obscene number, there's going to be, well, an expansion as well as the original content available as well coming to Kickstarter. Then, Mythic Battles. Mythic Battles Ragnarok coming to Kickstarter next week, and this is not so much news because you already knew this, but They just had a Kickstarter trailer release, and the trailer looks amazing. I am not someone who's interested in Mythic Battles because it's not that I'm not interested in Mythic Battles. I'm interested in everything that looks cool and plays well. But I have so many games, and I need to pick and choose the ones that I believe are most likely to hit the table. And in the case of Mythic Battles, while I enjoyed my time with the original Mythic Battles Pantheon, I enjoyed my time. I didn't love it. I thought it was fun, I thought it was fine, and I didn't enjoy it enough to delve into it. I played like 2 or 3 games, and then I was like, you know what? It's fun. I'm not pulled in enough to heavily delve into all the content. I believe it's a better game than I gave it time or credit for, but I just, again, so much content, and I look for excuses to get rid of things. All that said, the reason I'm discussing that now is to say that the trailer for Mythic Battles Ragnarok, it's not good. I will hold strong. Well, I'll try to hold strong, but it makes me want to jump in on the Kickstarter. They literally had, I mean, it's a great trailer. I'll throw a link down below. Check out the trailer for Mythic Battles Ragnarok. And again, Kickstarter will be dropping, I believe, April 5th, I want to say. April 4th is Sunday. April 5th is Monday. I believe it's dropping April 5th. So that's going to be all of that. Lastly, before we get into what I played and all that for the coming week, or last week or whatnot, we have April Fools. We had April Fools this past week, where everyone and their brother decided to do something funny, myself included, I'm not judging, for April Fools. And that generally results in a lot of things that are either just outright mean or, like, I mean, the amount of things I actually want to see. There's a lot of stuff that I genuinely want to see these things. So first of all, Folded Space had a insert, the one insert, which is just basically a lining that goes inside your box and holds everything. It was very cute, very well done. We had CGE put out a video with Paul Grogan, or maybe Paul Grogan did it on his own, I don't actually know, but for Under Falling Skies new game thingy, which was basically just a puzzle. We have Chronicles of Crime. We had Board and Dice, I think that's the company, teaming up with Lucky Duck to do Chronicles of Crime Teotihuacan, mix up whatnot. I still think that's fake. I'm not 100% certain because it still keeps on popping up my feed again and again, but I'm pretty sure it's fake. But either way, I mean, honestly, it would sell. They should probably do it at this point. A bunch of these things should be done. We had Everdell movie trailer, which was mean. Whoever did that was straight up mean. There's no trailer. It's like, Everdell movie coming, and then you click on it, and it's like, Everdell, April Fools, which was mean. Absolutely mean. Perhaps my favorite one that I absolutely want to see, Stronghold Games, if you're watching this, take notes and do this because people want it. There was a Terraforming Mars expansion for, like, a Terraforming Mars Survive the Alien Attack. The cover for this was amazing. I absolutely want this game. It's fine. I'll live without it. That's just the price of April Fool's Day. Products we didn't know we wanted and now we feel we needed. Just, because we don't have enough games to play and all of that. Which brings us to what I played this past week. So, what I played this past week is going to be the following. Scrolling up to Thursday, I got a lot done, or a decent amount done, because I played over, just losing my scrolling here, because I played over the holiday, so Saturday, Sunday, Monday, offline playing games, which means I did play less than I thought I would, but I got a lot of rule books in at the same time. I played a lot, don't get me wrong, but 3 full days being offline would usually be a lot of games. But, play the following, let's say, so starting with, let's go back a bit. No, what am I doing? Where am I going here? Did I play nothing? I must have missed some logging plays, because between March 20th and March 26th, I don't have a single play logged, which means I forgot to log something. I don't go 6 days without playing games. But, going from Friday, we have Pagan Fate of Roanoke. I played Pagan Fate of Roanoke. I'll be talking about that later in this video, so I'll come back to that later. We have Honeybuzz. Got a few games of Honeybuzz in. We'll have a review coming soon. I'm just waiting on some things, which will be clear when we talk about the review. We have the Whatnot Cabinet from Pencil First Games. Gotten a few plays of that. That will also have a review, possibly a playthrough coming. Honeybuzz might be playthrough and review, I don't know. Speaking of which, this is a good random interlude. What is your preference for those contents? Right now, I'm trying to, this really should have gone earlier in the video, whatever, I'll do it next week too. But right now, I'm trying to balance the content I put out. I'm trying to ensure I have reviews. I'm trying to ensure I have, play this, not that, either by myself or with other people. I'm trying to ensure I have playthroughs with myself, playthroughs with myself and Rena, playthroughs with myself, Rena and Shira. I'm trying to mix up the types of voices and presentation that show up for different types of content, because I recognize that different people will want different things. There are people who will want to have, me and Rena playing a game and then watching it. There are people who will want just a review for myself. So I keep on mixing up the types of content. I'm curious what your preference is. What's your most preferred type of content when we're giving an opinion on a game? The reason that's very relevant is because if I get a mix of answers, which I expect, I'll keep doing a mix of content. If I get primarily some people saying, well, I only really like when you do a review. I only really like the playthroughs. That if I get a dominant amount of people saying they only prefer one or the other, I'll probably do more of that type of thing. So let me know what you prefer there. But anyways, playthroughs and possibly reviews. Well, for sure reviews, possibly playthroughs of Whatnot Cabinet and Honey Buzz. Got Food Chain Island to the table. I had played Ugly Griffin in last week, and I want to play Food Chain Island. I don't really know how to review those. I need to figure that out. I don't want to do a full video dedicated to them. Maybe I'll do a full video dedicated to Sprawlopolis, Food Chain Island. Basically, I have 5 Button Shy games currently in my collection. I might do a full review of all of those. We'll see. We have Asonia. Just got Asonia. Asonia is excellent, by the way. I really enjoyed Asonia. It's one that I backed. It's one of those Kickstarters I backed, even though I think I might be overpaying compared to, aftermarket or down the road. But I'm really enjoying Asonia. It would absolutely replace Star Realms for me if I still had Star Realms, but it don't still have Star Realms, so it doesn't replace Star Realms, but we'll have a review and possibly playthrough of that. Spoilers, I guess. We have Air, Land, and Sea. Got more games of Air, Land, and Sea in. Classic game. I constantly bring that one out. Solid game. Got some more games of Quests and Cannons in. That is an upcoming Kickstarter, I believe, in July. We have Mutants, which is behind me on the shelf. There'll be playthrough and review of that at some point. In the Hall of the Mountain King, I just filmed my review for that one. That will be going up, I want to say, next Saturday. Might push it. I don't actually know. We have more Asonia, more Fortune Island. We have After the Empire. That's over here. I'll come back to that in a second. We'll talk about it soon at the end of the video. We have Quests and Cannons again. We have Aquatica. Oh my gosh, Aquatica is so much fun. I'll have a review and playthrough of that coming as well. Again, spoilers. I got a game of Anno 1800 in. Anno 1800 is going to be a game that, well, it's coming out soon, but I played it online. I hope to get a physical copy and review that. It was surprisingly addictive, honestly. I mean, not surprisingly. I was hoping it would be good. It's Martin Wallace, but it started off as a bit of a mess, and I was like, I don't want this, but the more I played it, the more I enjoyed it. And then we have Death Roads All-Stars. Death Roads All-Stars is going to be a upcoming Kickstarter at some point in the next few months. I don't have a firm date, but effectively imagine the movie Death Race turned into a card/board game. Solidly fun, much better than I was expecting to be. I expected it to be fun, but it was really, really solid fun, and I'll be pitching that one extensively. If you hear the little babbling child in the background, ignore the babbling child in the background. Sometimes that does happen around here. Going on to the week in review part of everything. So, Saturday I had a review and playthrough of Magna Roma, as well as a review and playthrough of Longshot. Both of these are active Kickstarters. Magna Roma, my overall opinion was a solid system, but I really want to see a drop more from that system. The core system alone reminded me of Carcassonne to a degree, meaning fun, but for myself, where I am in my gaming, I want a little bit more. And Magna Roma, the Kickstarter, does have expansions in it, which I'm very excited for, because that's exactly what I wanted. It's Magna Roma with a drop more thrown on, so I'm excited about that. Overall, short notes of it is, it's a solid game. On the lighter side, gives you a nice puzzle, but I wanted something to mix it up, which the expansions will hopefully do. Then we have Longshot, the dice game. Similar category. Longshot the dice game is, if you're following the Kickstarter, effectively the thing that's going to mix up that experience are going to be the different horse sets. It's a light roll and write game in which you have betting on different horses. It really does, towards the end, you really start getting frantic and crazy as you're like, no blue, no green, no red, and you hope someone's going to win. It's lots of fun, but it's also, again, on the lighter side. The horses, I think, that mix up the experience are going to be the primary reason why the Kickstarter is worth paying attention to. They currently have 2 extra horse sets, so basically doubling the variety of the game, which can mix up the game system. Now, I did want the horses to matter a little more than they did, so I kind of like, I still want to drop more in terms of what you can do in that system, but overall, a solid fun game. Both of these, by the way, were 3 out of 5s, and from, I think, basically all of us. Moving on to Sunday. Sunday was upcoming Kickstarters. That was going to be, well, the video I do once a month at this point for Kickstarters coming for April. Lots of Kickstarters coming in that video. Some that were pushed off, some that were adjusted. Lots of changing in these categories. Again, constant reference to Shelf Clutter for the newest, most updated news on Kickstarters. And then I left off, this one I did leave off. So I left off Canvas, but that's because we didn't know about it yet. And then I left off, which we did know about, but somehow, surprisingly, was not on my list. Marvel United X-Men coming to Kickstarter April 14th. I think I may have missed a few others, but again, whenever I get the comments from people saying, hey, what about this one, what about that one, I immediately go and add them to my own list on the side to ensure that even if I miss the announcement, at least I will be covering it when I do my Monday roundups or all of that. Then we had Monday. Monday was to back or not to back. Basically, short version there was going to be, this is my regular Kickstarter roundup. We're going to have another one this week, by the way. I mentioned I wasn't sure if we would, but we will. So this Monday will again be to back or not to back. But effectively covering all the Kickstarters. To me, the standouts are going to be one that I covered, one that I did not, which are going to be Theurgy. Theurgy was a game I had the opportunity to play and really solidly enjoyed it, and Pagan Fate of Roanoke is another one that I really enjoyed, and basically, I didn't talk about it in the video. I pinned a comment because I filmed the video before I played Pagan, but Pagan was a lot of fun. It's a 2-player social deduction game, kind of, where one player is the witch, and you get assigned a character, and you have to try to win through a win condition or whatever, while the other character the hunter tries to deduce who the witch's character is. Really enjoyed it. Got an online play with a bit of an audience in the Paddle Discord, the Quackalope Discord channel, and basically it's amazingly fun. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. Not without critiques. I will be doing coverage of the game for the Pledge Manager, so I will have a review at some point. Same with Theurgy. Both of these games are going to have coverage time with the Pledge Manager, because both these games I had the opportunity to try and play, but after the Kickstarter was basically close to ending. But I had a note I want to say about Pagan. I don't remember my note was. So yeah. Oh yeah, I was going to say, both of these games, the reason they're my highlights is my enjoying the game does not change my opinion of the value of a game. It's something I've talked about before, but doing the Kickstarter, I'll say, hey, blah, 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 I'm not sure. And I said this about both these games. Both of them are fairly expensive, which means the limited availability will help it hold its price to a small degree, but there was also not enough demand on either of these for me to be confident that it will hold its value in terms of the secondhand market. Generally, these games, just they'll take a hit. You will take some sort of hit, maybe not the total value, but you might pay $90, whatever it is, and walk away selling it for $70 down the road. That could well happen. Me enjoying these games does not change my opinion of the value, but at the end of the day, my whole thing about value for myself is I care so much about the value when I'm looking to back 10 Kickstarters a month. That's a big part, because many of those 10 Kickstarters will not last in my collection. When I like a game, I make exceptions. I like Terraforming Mars, so I back the Kickstarter. I'll pay the extra $5. I know I like that game. Technically, it's a different version of the game. With Theurgy, Pagan, both of those I backed, because it doesn't matter to me that I might be able to hold off, wait, find the secondary market. I'll do that from today until tomorrow for games I have not played and am not sure about. But a game I've played, a game that I've enjoyed, I want it in my collection. I am adding it to my collection. So it's this weird balance where I'll be super enthusiastic about a game, and then once in a while I'll get a comment saying, but you said it wasn't a good back. That might still be true. Those things might be true. This happened with Cult of... No, I can't remember the name. Was it Cult of the Deep? No, not Cult of the Deep. What was the pirate one? Jeez, I'm totally blanking on this name. There was that pirate hidden deduction game that I'm totally blanking on the name, from the same company that made Glenmore, from Funtails. Feed the Kraken. Feed the Kraken is one that is a good example of this, where I really enjoyed the game, and the Kickstarter I said the retail is a straight up bad back. The limited, it depends very heavily on the retail availability after the fact. And sure enough, the retail availability showed up after the fact, and it was cheaper. And that's okay with me. I lost 10, 15 bucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's another reason for me to be more wary of Funtails Kickstarters in terms of the backing of the game, but not in terms of supporting Funtails down the road in terms of picking up the game at retail. So I don't mind. I lost 10, 15 bucks. It's a game that I love, and I knew it was a risk. That is always going to be an interesting balance there. But that's a long tangent aside. Moving on to Monday again. Later that same day, I did a review and solo playthrough of V-Commandos Ghost with the new content. And this is one of those things that I find interesting, and I find different companies take different approaches to when this happens. So my first impressions, and it was first impressions, my first experience and only experience, my first impressions with V-Commandos Ghost was that I played it and I enjoyed aspects of the new content, and other aspects I didn't care about. Campaign play, I don't think I'm going to enjoy. I don't think I'm going to experience or try it that much. The XP system with the skill cards and the danger tokens, really enjoyed that. I think it's a great addition to the game. And the true solo play, it's a mixed bag to me. My first experience has me thinking I wouldn't want to play it again. I do want to try it again with the dog, with other factors, but it was mixed. And I said all this in my playthrough and review. Overall, my opinion was positive, but certainly with notes of like, hey, this and this and this and this. And I find when I do something like that, and a lot of my content is mixed by the very nature of me trying to balance being critical while also being enthusiastic. I try to balance those two. I mean, being genuine ultimately. But it does mean that I find myself in these interesting places with companies where I'll do a video of a game and then it won't show up on the Kickstarter page. They won't talk about it. And I think it's such a huge misstep on their part. Not because I need my video on the page. I'm cool. It's fine. But because I think that when someone says something semi-negative about a game, but it's overall positive, I think if you choose to ignore that, what you are telling people is you're telling the audience, the backers, that I perceive that to be a critique of the game. Versus when you embrace it, you're telling people that I perceive it to be a positive feedback about the game. The publisher's choice, the company's choice to ignore or embrace mixed feedback, defines whether they perceive and whether the audience should perceive that feedback as positive or negative. It's just an interesting balance that I find many companies make, in my opinion, the wrong choice of treating something as negative. And whenever I say something negative and a company puts that in the page, I think like such a solid job. They are defining the narrative of what my feedback is, as opposed to hiding it. It's an interesting conversation. I'm curious whether you agree, disagree, never gave it a thought before in your life. All of that's just interesting. The things I think about, I'm always thinking. Moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be Monster Hunter World. Now, Monster Hunter World is going to be a good example of this because, not to get too spoilery, my short version of Monster Hunter World, I did a playthrough, I'll have a review coming. I will be having a Play This, Not That with Primal Monster Hunter World. I was planning on waiting until retail, but I had enough people who want that comparison that I'm going to go ahead and do it. And my short version is, as of right now, and keep in mind I'm only 3 plays into Monster Hunter World as of now, but as of right now, Primal would win that category. Now I do a bunch of things about Monster Hunter World that I'm still looking into, or still meeting with Steamforge to try to find out what's changing, what's adjusting, what's fixed in place. My short version right now is Primal wins, but Monster Hunter World is really good. And I think people who like Monster Hunter World as a franchise, I've never played it before in my life, I think there are many people who will prefer Monster Hunter World. It is solid, it is well done. I will be going more into this into my review and Play This Not That of the 2 games. But the short version is, this is another good example of mixed feedback. My assumption is that this will be a mixed conversation. It'll be like, here's this aspect I don't like. So for instance, I really don't like the art. Like, I really don't like the art. Now, the art is true to the video game, which I haven't played. So I'm not like thinking, oh my gosh, the video game art, it's amazing. I'm thinking, I much prefer Primal's art. But that's a sub-aspect of the game. And so that's another example of it's going to be a mixed conversation. It's not going to be as effusively positive as Primal, at least not as of now. But as of now, I will be backing it. As of now, it still is a solid addition. That's more spoilery than I want to get. We'll cover this more when I do a review and Play This Not That. Wednesday is going to be Blood Rage vs. Rising Sun. Speaking of Play This Not That. Now, Play This Not That is something I used to do on the channel way back in the day, and it's something I stopped doing for a variety of reasons. One is that I didn't feel... I don't mind talking about games without having the components, the box, the this, the that, but Play This Not That used to be me holding a game box and then me picking up the other game box and doing that for 20 minutes while I talk about the game. A little less in the components than I want. I don't mind doing that when I'm talking about 10 different games for 30, 40 seconds, well, more than that, for 2 to 3 minutes a piece. But when I'm spending 10 minutes about a game, I like to have some components on the table, something pretty for people to look at effectively. And so that's one reason it got shelved. Number 2 is they didn't do that well. They really Play This Not That as a series did not do that well when I used to do them. So not enough people were watching them, so I just passed on them. But right now, either because I've adjusted the way I do it, or I don't know, maybe formatting, I don't know exactly why, but I've started experimenting with them again, and they are doing well again. Kibitos vs. Quacks did well. Blood Rage vs. Rising Sun did well. We did Everdell and Everdell and Wingspan, which were 2 different videos on 2 different channels, or Blood Rage vs. Inish on Quackalope's channel. They're doing well in the current format, so I plan on keeping on doing them. I don't know if they're not going to be once a week. I do have a few lined up, but I would say I expect them to be like 2 times a month, something like that. But as long as people keep watching them, I will keep doing them. I've always enjoyed the format. I just stopped for practical reasons. Then from there we have Thursday. Thursday was just me being silly because April Fools. I did a video about Quackalope, and basically Quackalope's gonna get a tattoo at some point when he has enough patrons, something he promised a long time ago, and I'm just trying to capitalize on getting people to be able to just vote with one giant voting block on the ridiculous tattoo he gets. Lots of ideas from people, lots of good ideas, not a lot of $1 patrons showing up, even though I offered to reimburse the first who knows how many people, 150 people who did it. I said I'll reimburse them straight up for the first $150 effectively. I'm paying for the voting block to give Quackalope a tattoo, but not enough takers. Got some, definitely got some, I appreciate you, but not a ton, which I get, by the way, because, I mean, honestly, to a certain extent, I'd be on the same boat. I'd be like, I get that you're paying me $1, but I'm also not going to email you and ask you for that, so it just kind of ends up being something, it's easier to just go watch the next video. That's life. It is easier to do that. Moving on, speaking of easier to move on to the next video, Friday was Lasting Tales, Should You Back It? This is going to be the Blacklist miniatures, fantasy line, whatever. I cover that one. Short version is, you should back it if you want the miniatures, or if you're interested in the thing. The miniatures will hold their value. The Lasting Tales core book, I don't think it will, but I also don't know that market, so not my thing. Then Saturday, today at 12 o'clock, we have a review for Cusco or Cusco, one of those 2 things. I definitely said Cusco the whole video, so if that's wrong, sorry. Cusco going to be a review for that one, as well as not a review, as well as a Marvel United unboxing. Basically all the stuff. I got the all-in for Marvel United, and I did an unboxing video of that. I do recommend watching that. I definitely rambled. Definitely rambled. Probably not the same. Don't watch it with your kids. Do not watch it with your kids. I definitely went off the rails on the subject matter at hand. I know Marvel United might seem like it's a kid's game. My conversation around Marvel United just definitely went to PG-13 level. Serious topics all around, because Marvel apparently is a twisted universe that I never really thought about until now, but lots of psychological damage going on all around over there. Anyways, that would be today and all that. This week, coming up this week, we have the following. I don't think we have any other reviews this week. It's possible I will throw one up later this week. I don't know yet right now, but we'll see. We'll play it out. But effectively, this coming week, we have, not going to say everything. I usually do a full schedule on my Patreon, but we have games leaving the collection. That will be showing up later this week. So games leaving the collection for March. That's the one, March. And then I will almost certainly have a Should You Back It for Mythic Battles Ragnarok, because it's Mythic Battles Ragnarok. I'll also save you the time. You don't need to watch that video. It's Mythic Battles Ragnarok. If you are interested, back it. It'll hold its value. I'm not concerned about that at all. Or you can watch the video where I am excited for 20 minutes and talk about this game that I will probably not be backing, but also looks really cool, has amazing miniatures, and all of that. And that's it. This coming, up for me, I hope to be playing all of these games. I hope to be playing Valor and Villainy in the next day or two, as well as some more After the Empire. Great game already. After the Empire is so good. Spoiling my review, I don't care. I have a review coming of it. It is so good. We have Guildmaster, hope to play. Viticulture, which I'm long overdue for. Hope to be playing all of these. Enjoy your weekend. I don't know what you have planned or scheduled or all of that. Until next time, I am Alex Radcliffe from BoardGameCo, and I hope you have a good one.